Guesses as to what's the most important thing when we're working with cooking with eggs and milk on the stove top that we have to be conscientious about.
Low heat.
What, Grant?
Is it low heat?
Why low heat?
Because you cook something out there you eat or something.
Because what?
I don't remember. But it's something like low heat.
Okay, so Grant got us started. And low heat is a key. Okay, here's your hint. Milk and eggs both have a similar nutrient. It's not calcium. Milk, a lot of times you guys have that crammed down your throat so much. That's
Protein.
so, what would that nutrient be that I am trying to control? Say it loud because I don't hear very well.
Vitamin A.
Vitamin A is a good guess, but not correct. It's not a micronutrient, it's a macronutrient. Those of you who had nutrition science, you should be sorting that in your brain right now. Protein! Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so what happens when we put a liquid on heat? That the protein is heavier than the other nutrients and it sinks and it burns at a pretty low temperature. So we need to stir and we need to control the temperature or we're going to ruin this. Okay, so this is my pudding pan and this is my cream puff pan. So while I'm talking, Delaney is going to stir this on low heat. And if you're really concerned about burning your pudding mixture, you could use a double boiler. And that's what the double boiler is for. Because if you have water burning up, if you have water underneath, what temperature is it going to stay at the whole time? Water is boiling. 212. Never gets hotter than 212. So that's, it takes a little longer to use a double boiler, but you're not going to burn it. Okay, so if you take, I want you to be looking at the pudding, the custard. It's actually what pudding is, a custard. And what a custard is, it's an egg milk mixture that's cooked. Sometimes you can make it on the stovetop, sometimes you can make it in the oven. So if you made it in the oven, what's a popular restaurant dish that's a custard? It would be egg and milk, and they put a flame on top of it, creme brulee. So once you know kind of the basics about cooking with protein and eggs and milk, you can make some really fancy, elegant desserts. Cream puffs are one of those. If you look at the ingredients, it doesn't take much. Most of you guys have all this stuff in your kitchen, and you can go home and do this tonight. It's about learning how to control the temperature and mixing it correctly. Okay, next, we're heating the milk up. We're going to take the egg yolks, and when you're separating an egg, if you intend to use the whites, it's very important not to get any of the yolk into the white. And so some people toss the egg back and forth in the shell, but the shell can easily crack the yolk membrane, and I want to get all of that white in one cup. And you'll notice, can you see, when you crack your eggs tomorrow, I want you to look for the germinal disc and the shell is up. And do you remember what those things do for the egg? What's the germinal disc? You learned about it in science class in elementary school, I hope. What's the yolk? The food for the baby chick. What's the germinal disc? So now you know when people say, and when you go away to college, and a vegan diet is like the cool thing if you're a college student. And it's kind of cool when you're in high school. When you go to couch, it's like, oh, I'm away from home, I'm gonna control my own diet, I'm gonna be a vegan. And I don't want to eat eggs because I don't eat baby chicks. Well, you're not eating a baby chick, you're eating a food. Alright. What we're gonna do with these egg whites then, because I have no yolk in these, is I'm gonna make meringue with you on Friday. And I've got a little piece of shell in there and I need to get that out. Is the milk getting hot? How could you tell if it was?
Stick your finger in it.
No. I mean, you could, but without touching it. How could you tell? You're heating up water, how do you know it's getting hot? It's steaming. Yeah, so we're gonna look for, we want the milk to get just bubbles, and we don't want it to be a boil, we want it to be, it's called scalded. Just before the boil is the right temperature. Boiling is not right, not up to scalding is not right. So that's what I'm talking about when you say you have to work with the perfect temperature. Okay, I need 1/3 of a cup of sugar. And I whisk that into these yolks. These yolks are going to go into that milk mixture. And when we're talking about baking, like in doughs and batters, eggs do what? What do they do? If you forget the egg, what's probably not going to happen to your...
Stick together stuff.
Not going to stick together. What's the word for it?
Bind.
Not going to bind. Okay, and when we're doing like puddings and sauces with eggs, what's your guess? What do you think these eggs are going to do? When they're at room temperature, they're a liquid. When they're really hot, they're solid, right? So what do you think they are when they're semi-hot? That transition stage. Can you look and see if I can see on my screen? Phone screen. Wow. That's not good. I'm still waiting for the answer. Turns into a gel. It gets it thick. Makes it thick. Punch through standard.
Good job, Sandy.
When we put flour in a baked mixture, why do we do that? What's flour do?
Bacon scratch.
It gives it the structure, but it also thickens. What is cornstarch? You know, it comes from corn, but how do you get cornstarch? Take the corn, they dry it out, they take the shell off, and they grind it up and make a flour. They do the same thing when they're to make all-purpose flour. What is that made out of? Wheat. They're both grains. So it's going to do, cornstarch is going to do a similar thing, but it's clear, it's more translucent, so our pudding is going to look more, it's not going to be cloudy like it would be if you did flour. So if you don't have cornstarch at home, you can substitute flour, but you have to look up and see what's the substitution ratio. Okay. So this is my sweetener, my thickener mixture. What would happen if I put this in boiling milk? It would cook the eggs to be what? Solid. I'd have little pieces of scrambled eggs with very soupy, sweet liquid. So we want to really control it. So that's why on step number 5, it says gradually beat in the hot milk, pouring the milk into the bowl slowly while beating the egg mixture. And then you're gonna pour it all back in the saucepan and boil it. While we're waiting for this to get, it's almost there. She's doing a great job stirring it. Go down to step 11 and 12. To make chocolate filling, follow the directions for vanilla, but you're going to add a tablespoon and a teaspoon of cocoa powder to the cornstarch before adding it to the yolk mixture. So if you're doing chocolate tomorrow, you put this in here. We're just going to do the vanilla, okay? And then you have chocolate. All right. When it says cook stirring constantly over moderate heat until mixture thickens and becomes to a boil, then you lower the heat. It starts to get lumpy and you'll think, oh, I messed up. You'll see what happens. But you just have to keep stirring and be patient. Okay. Can you guys see what this smells like? You'll know it's hot enough when you'll see a lot of steam coming out of it. I'm going to start getting this cooked. My goal is to have you taste these before I keep stirring. Okay, what we're going to do after we get the pudding all mixed is we're going to chill it so that we want it to be cool when we put it in the cream puffs. Cream puffs are best eaten if you serve them the day or just right after they come out of the oven. You want them to cool somewhat, but if you let them sit overnight, they get kind of soggy. And if you look on the ingredients for the cream puff, this is a dessert, but what is missing? You're thinking of, you just eat the cream puff plain, what is that going to taste like? Any guesses?
Lamb, dough.
What? Like bread. It's just a container. It's a fancy, think of it as a fancy bowl. So you could do mini cream puffs and do appetizers and put like a shrimp salad filling or chicken salad filling, tuna salad filling, and have those for a nice Christmas appetizer thing. Or you could turn them into desserts by putting whipped cream or pudding or custard. Okay, see how this steam is coming up? It's ready. This is what you want. You want it to be fully steaming but not boiling. I'm going to take it over here, and when you guys do this tomorrow, you might want to do this as a 2-person job. In fact, I'm going to have you doing it. You're going to just drizzle this very ever so slightly. And what's happening now is I'm tempering the egg yolk. No! Okay, very slow drizzle. Very, very gently. Okay. Tempering the egg yolk means that we're very gradually heating it up. So if we would have just dumped it in, it would have cooked the egg. And what we're trying to get the egg to do is get thick and stretchy. I think you can go ahead and pour it. Yes, I know, that's right. We lose a little bit of milk. That's better than getting it too hot. Doesn't look too much like pudding yet, does it? Okay, is there any milk on the bottom of the eggs? Scorch the. We're going to put this back on the heat now.